Now for this video, we're going to explore the settings. So on the PressureCAD ribbon, we look at the settings panel. We've got settings, pattern editor, and curve editor. Let's take a look at the settings. I'm going to select settings from the ribbon. Down in the command line, you're going to see a few options here. We have hydraulic, default, time, and constraint. We look at the hydraulic. We have our flow units, different units here. We have our head loss formula, specific gravity, relative viscosity, maximum trials, accuracies, and so forth. So you can easily change those units just by keying those in, selecting from the drop-down, and hitting OK. For the default units, you can set some default elevations, base demands, tank diameters, and so forth, pipe diameters. And that'll be just the defaults as you design your system. We have time constraints as well, the time settings, our total duration, quality time steps, pattern time steps, and so forth. We also have our constraints. So if I select constraints here, those are going to be kind of the minimum constraints. As we run our model, and if we don't meet these constraints, then it will warn us. It'll tell us where maybe a certain node didn't meet a certain pressure. These are fully customizable, so obviously 2000 psi would not be ideal. So you can say all of my nodes need to have a pressure between 100 and 60, random number. But and as we do our analysis, again, you'll see this pop up in the panorama or on screen that a node does not meet the demand. Okay, we also have parameter editor. Okay, and we can key in our certain parameters, our time periods, our multipliers, and we can import this from a file, or we can export this from a file as well. So simple key-ins. Yep. You can save this to the drawing. You can open it from maybe a past drawing or a past project, either way. So import, export, open from a drawing, save to a drawing. Fairly quite simple. And we have our curve editor. So for example, if we want to create a pump curve, we could call this curve ID 1. We give it a description. We can give it a curve type. So we have volume, pump efficiency, head loss, and we can give it an equation. So on here, I could give it a flow, let's say 5, 10, 15, 20, 25. Maybe let's leave it at that. Again, we can import and export to and from a file. So we give it the head, 98. I'm just going to pick some numbers here. Okay. So you can see as that goes through and creates that pump curve. Again, import it, export it, open from a drawing, save to a drawing. So those are the simple settings that you can set up in your model before you get started on your design.